Hello, we have downloaded data from the USGS water quality website that provided us with a file of station locations and results. And what we're going to do now is how to do some data cleaning. So to do that, I'm going to open the station location file in Excel. This is going to pull the data in an Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to convert the data, and then I'm going to pull the result also in an Excel spreadsheet. And this is going to also pull all of the data that are the results associated with each of those station location. I'm going to convert that as well. What I'm going to do is bring the data from one spreadsheet to the other spreadsheet. So I'm going to take the data that is the station location, and I'm going to create a new tab where I'm going to copy those station location. So I have both of them in the same Excel spreadsheet. And what I'm going to do is save this Excel spreadsheet as a Excel document so that all of the steps that I'm going to go through are retained. So as an Excel document. And I'm going to rename the first sheet to results, and then the second one to station location. Then I'm going to do some data cleaning. So I'm copying all of the data from station location to a new sheet where I'm going to paste all of the information, and then I'm going to delete all of the comment lines. I will delete those. And what I'm left with are the site number, the latitude, longitude, and then the state code. And I'm going to select numbers. And for the site number, I'm going to remove the decimal point, whereas for the latitude, longitude, I'm going to add 6 figures. And for the state code, I'm going to remove the decimal points. Let me save this. And now I'm going to rename this sheet the location spreadsheet. So now I'm going to go to result, copy all of the result into a new spreadsheet. I'm going to call it number 1, sheet number 1. And I'm going to paste all of the results. I'm going to go copy all the result and paste them. And then again, I'm going to delete the first few lines. But I will retain the name of each of the parameter. So I can create a little dictionary of all of the parameter in that spreadsheet. And I'm going to call this one the dictionary. I'm going to go to results again, copy all of the data, and then create a new sheet. I'm going to call this one sheet 1. And in it, I'm going to paste all of the result. So let me copy them again and paste them again. And now I'm going to delete all of the comment line. all the way to the beginning of the table. So I'm going to delete all the first 1500 or so line to eliminate all the comments line. And then I'm going to remove some unnecessary columns to only retain the site number and the date. Then I'm going to insert 3 columns that I'm going to call the longitude in degree, the latitude in degree, and then the days since 2000. I'm going to cut this column and add it after the sample date. And then I'm going to insert 2 columns to create some space, or actually 1 column will be sufficient. And then I'm going to add 3 columns after the site number. So now I'm going to calculate the date since 2000. So I put my 2000 starting date, and then I'm going to calculate the days as being the date minus January 1st, 2000 plus 1. So here is the formula. And what I'm going to do is put a dollar in front of the E and 2. This calculates a date, and I'm going to click on that side and double click, and it's calculating the date, the number of days for each of the date. What I'm going to put here is the state code and the months and the year. And we're going to calculate the months as equal months, open parenthesis, select the date, close parenthesis. I'm going to calculate the year as being equal to the year of the date, close the parenthesis. So when I do this, if I expand that for the whole row, I can see that on January 2000, exactly it was a 24. It was 24 days past 2000 and so forth. So now I'm going to calculate the longitude latitude. So for this, I'm going to do a value lookup for the site number, where I'm going to pull this information as a lookup from the locations. And what I need to do here is select the cell A1 and then go all the end to the table and select on column D, the last row. And once I have this, I can say that I want column 3. And when I close the column and press enter, it tells me that it was able to pull the longitude. What I'm going to do is ask for those 2 numbers to have 6 digits after the period. And I'm further going to modify the formula to be a lookup where I fix the range with $sign in front of the A, 1, and in front of the D and the last row. And what this does is say that we're looking for value F2 from this table and pulling from the first row on this table, which has the site ID, and pulling the 3rd column, which is where the longitude is. If I copy this formula and paste it in the next cell, and paste it in the next cell, it will again calculate the longitude, but now I'm going to say that I want the value on column number 2. And on column number 2 is where the latitude is located. Since, as you can see, we have 4 columns. The first one is a site number from which we search for a value. And what we say is, or see here, is that column 2 has the latitude. Column 3 has the longitude. And now we're interested in the state code. So we're now going to paste our formula again for the state code. But now we say that we want column number 4. And that is giving us the state code. So now we can expand those formula throughout. And that is providing us a table that has longitude, latitude, the time. And then those 3 columns we're going to highlight in a blue color because they're needed. And what we're now going to do is copy the whole table. So we're going to copy the whole table, create a new sheet, which we're going to call number 2. And here we're going to paste by numbers. And once we paste by number, we're going to say that we want the 3 column now to be blue because they're going to be always needed. The next 2 columns are no longer needed. They were needed in the previous sheet for calculation, so we're going to delete them. The next 4 are not necessary. They're just useful, so I'll put them in gray. And then finally, we have all of the parameters. So we now have a table. What we're going to do is say that we want the longitude and latitude to have 6, to have more digits displayed. So we first need to say that we want the whole table to be numbers. And now we can say that the first 2 columns have 6 digits after the decimal point. The number of day has 0 digit. The site number 0 digit, as well as the state code, the month and the year. And what we can now do is highlight all of the parameter results. So the way that work is that a given column has the parameter result for a value. If it's less than, we're going to replace that with a number. So we're going to say we replace all of the less than with a minus. So if I replace all of those numbers, they are all replaced. There were 44,000 replacement. Then all the values that are estimated have a value E, or letter E. We're going to keep them. So we're going to simply replace the E with nothing, which means we're going to remove the E's, and we replace all. We've replaced 7 additional 1,000 value that we retain. And that provides a numeric table that has all of the data that we want. It has the 3 needed space-time coordinate, and then a column for each of the parameters. Now, if we want to extract a column, we can look at our dictionary. For instance, if we are interested in, let's say, ammonia in filtered sample, it's parameter 608. So what we can do is take sheet number 2, copy it into a new sheet. We're going to rename it to ammonia. And here we're going to keep parameter 608 by deleting the preceding and next column. I'm going to delete those. And then I'm going to sort this column from smallest to largest by expanding the selection, so all rows are sorted. And that allows me to scroll down and see that I have a lot of values that I will not retain. So I will eliminate all of the values that start with an A or at the end of the table that we're missing by deleting those corresponding rows. And now I can look at the values that I have. So the last two values are very high. They're outliers. I could retain them. If you wanted to, you can remove them at this point. And then I can see that the values go to small value recorded down to about 0.08, 0.01. And I have some value that are recorded at 0.03. So let me put one more digit so I can see those. And then I have some below detect that are below 0.001, below 0.003. And I have some value that have a high detection limit. Those don't have a lot of information. I could typically remove those because all they're telling you is that they're below a detection limit, which is very high, so they don't inform you much. And then what we could do is cut that cell and place it after the space-time coordinate. We could insert a new cell where we could call the first cell NH for the raw data in milligram per liter. And then we're going to create a new cell where we're going to harden the data, that is, give them a hard value. And in this case, we could say equal if the value, in this case on D2, is positive, then we're going to just use that value. If not, meaning it's 0 or negative, we're going to take the negative value, so we're making it positive, divided by 2. So minus the value divided by 2. So the formula is if we have a first argument, D2, and minus D2 over 2. So if we calculate the value for all rows, we can see that negative values are given half the detection limit. As I scroll down, I can see that all the negative values are given half the detection limit. And then as I increase value, now when they're positive, I give them their value. And what I could do is select all of the row and sort, do a custom sort. And we could say we're going to sort them by increasing time and then by longitude to organize them. I'm going to, for the site number, say that I don't need any decimal point. And now I have this final spreadsheet that gives me the longitude, latitude, time, and then it gives me a hardened value for each of the monitoring site. If I want to, I make sure that I save this Excel spreadsheet first so that it is in my folder. So we can see that it was saved as an Excel spreadsheet. So I can come back to it. So now I have my 3 files, which are the files that were downloaded from the USGS website that had the result stations, and then this data cleaning file that has all of the steps. So if I close this, I could even call this file. I'm going to give it an X, so it's at the end, and then data cleaning. So now if I sort by name, I have the 2 text files that were directly downloaded, that have the result and station location, and then this data cleaning. If I reopen it, I can go back to each of the sheets so I can see the steps that were performed. And furthermore, I can, after going back to each of the steps that were performed, go to the ammonia spreadsheet and save this data as a file with a different file format. For instance, I could save it as a CSV, comma delimited file format. I could call and rename it, since it's just the ammonia spreadsheet, ammonia in a CSV file format. And once I rename it, I'm going to close this Excel spreadsheet without saving it. And now I'm going to open this CSV file in Notepad. And what I can see now with longitude, latitude, time, and then my NH4 readings. That's it. Thank you.